morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. It's 7/17/23, lucky sevens today, 50/29. We're getting ready to go. We're talking about communication and getting better at it. So we're going to have some fun as we're rocking and rolling. I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope you are rocking that 20 or 100-day challenge. If you had a chance to jump in there, great. Would love to have you working with that, and I'll talk about why. Make sure you put your check mark on the spreadsheet, okay? Just go in there and say, hey, I did it this week. I got through my no drinking, my writing, whatever it is that you're doing. For me, it's no drinking, my writing, and my workouts. That's what I'm working on, and feeling good because I'm excited about that challenge. And if you haven't joined us yet, it's a good time. Go ahead and jump in there, and you can I'll actually put an extra week. If you want to get started on that, that's fine. You can find that in the meetup area. Also, there's a circle that's all being done in the community. Love to have you participate with that. This week, we've got a big week. We're going to be talking about communication, one of my favorite topics. We're going to be talking about how to get better at communication today. Tomorrow, obviously, is a book study, getting into chapters 3 and 4 of doing 10Xing instead of 2Xing. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about how to use AI and communication, some new tools that are out there. Thursday, I got a good one. It's an Ask JB. Somebody asked me what to do when you make a big mistake. Actually, a person had a big financial mistake. I've made a few of those. Just recently, I made a huge mistake. I want to talk about how you recover for that. So make sure you're here Thursday. Friday, we got asking something for others. How do we do compliance? How do we get offers? Saturday, communication tips. And then Sunday, spiritual communication, finding peace. So we got a big week. And communication is critical. It's critical with everything. Another note, we'll be sending this out. Looks like our next business retreat. This is going to involve AI, social communication, building business, is going to be September 20th through 22nd. That's a Wednesday through a Friday here at the Retreat Center. So I want to make sure you get that on the calendar. That is tentative. You'll be seeing that being sent out, but it looks like those are going to be the dates for sure. Combination IC inner circle meeting with some business information is going to be a real cool deal. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. All right, let's get into it today. We're talking about communication, why it's so important. Communication is the key. I mean, it really is. If we think about even in parenting, dealing with other people, having discussions, it's being able to communicate and get your point across is going to allow you to do the things you want to do in your life. And, communication is something that can be learned. It's something that we can get better at. It's a tool that will work for you in everything you do. For me, for example, being able to do this has been about communication. Using this tool to communicate with people around the world has been an exciting thing, and it's been awesome to be able to reach so many people and then build the Get It Done Now system, which we're checking our plan right now, right? So we're working on our plan. We're working to get a little more organized with that plan so that we can focus on what we're going to do next. And that's an important thing. Like we've got to be able to communicate the things we're going to do, and that's Get It Done Now. And by the way, if you're with that, I'll talk about this in a minute, but one of the things I'm watching with the 100-Day Challenge and also onboarding new people, we've got a few new people that are coming on board, which is great. You'll be getting emails from me consistently over time, and I'm learning. And what does this have to do with communication? Okay, this is really critical, especially for those of you that are professional experts, because a lot of times people are always asking me, what do I offer and what am I an expert at? Well, this is what's so critical. Okay, communication is so important, right? So we talk about communication, and typically it seems like it's the way that we talk. It's the way that we put a message out. And yes, that's a part of communication that's important. But what I want to talk about today, and you can hear me jumping on my soapbox, jumping up and down, is I want to talk about the first thing about communication is to be a better listener. Write that down. Stop everything. Push a pause on this thing and say, okay, first thing with communication is to be a better listener. Well, how does this work? I mean, social media is about putting stuff out there. Podcasting is about putting stuff out there. Everything that I teach is about communicating, putting stuff out there. Next week, we're going to talk about public speaking in depth. I'm getting ready to go down to Cartagena. Huge group of people I'm speaking to. All that is out, external, right? So it seems like everything that we're talking about is external communication, like forcing it out. And then I'm going, stop everything, pause right now, and write down that the first thing is to be a better listener. Well, why is this? Okay, well, number one is because you can do this. you can get better at this. So there's something that we call, being a professional expert, what is called a list relationship. A list relationship is, and this goes all the way back to email. So back when I first started in kind of the professional expert business, I was with a lot of emailers. In fact, I was in a mastermind group when Google was big, and people were putting Google AdWords on their sites and were making millions and millions of dollars. And then email became the big thing. And email was huge, and it still is. Believe it or not, email is still a big way to make sales. It still works. It's just there's so much noise out there, and that's why the list relationship is so critical. So list relationship states that you're going to be able to listen to what your list is saying. And you say, but JB, that's an email. How are you listening? By the way that they communicate back, okay? So one of the big things I'm doing right now, which is helping me tremendously. So you hear me talking about the 100-day challenge, and I think we've got like 50 or 60 of them going right now. When I go and I look at that sheet, guess what that allows me to do? As we get into the second week of the 100-day challenge, it's allowing me to listen. What are the most important things that are people working on? And what does that allow me to do? It allows me to structure the content specifically to you. So I know everybody's not participating, obviously, but when I go to meetings, and I go to, our professional expert meeting, or I put more meetings together, and I've got some incubator meetings coming, or I do a retreat, whatever I'm doing, I'm constantly listening, okay? And this is a skill that you can learn. And it's basically, there's a term for it, right? It's called a list relationship. You're building a relationship with the people that you're with. And I think it's important. I think there's an integrity part of this, that as you build a relationship with others, you're going to learn what is needed. You're going to learn what you need to move, what direction you need to move, just by listening to the majority of the people that are with you. And you'll start to see that these are the needed things out there. So like I said, professional experts, a lot of times, they're always looking at, what do I offer? What do I put out there? What do I put on Facebook? What do I sell? What do I build a course for? And a lot of times we use our knowledge, right? And so we'll use our knowledge, we'll put out there, and it doesn't sell well. And it's like, why isn't that selling? Well, because you haven't listened to your list. You don't know what your list wants, or you don't have a list. And that's a big issue, right? So I'm constantly looking to build the list bigger and bigger. Right now, our number one driver, and I don't mind saying this, is our planner. People love the planner. They go get the planner, they start utilizing it, and it's great. And we're making it better. By the way, there's a circle in there. John's already posted some stuff about the dates, about making the planner better for next year. And one of the big things we're going to do over the next couple of weeks is be working on an incubator to get the planner better, like to make sure you're utilizing some form of planning. And again, I don't care if it's a whiteboard, but our structuring of our planning, the learning methodology of the plan is what's so critical, right? So as I look at this, it's like I've got to continue to learn what is working. So as people are working on that, it's like, okay, then we need to spend some more time in that area and make it better. We need to get the quality up. We need to keep working to make things better. Does that make sense? So you're listening for cues of what people are needing. As a professional expert, that's how you build your courses. That's how you build things out. Now you say, well, JB, I'm just starting. I have a list. Well, you got to start putting something out there, and start learning from, are you getting reception from it? That's where social media is so awesome, because you could start putting something out there consistently over time, and you're going to find out that it's a need in the marketplace. And if it isn't, eventually people are going to tell you what they need. And you're going to start to move your expertise to a particular area that's going to help you. Okay, that we're going to move, and we're going to find what people are concerned with. And we'll be able to build in that area. Now, again, why is this so critical? Because communications is so important. Because you'll start to dial it in. As you start listening, you start dialing in more. You start to understand what the business is about. Now, I get it. A lot of times, look, I don't want Morning Coach to be about get it done now. That's not what I'm about. But it's attracting people in so that I can listen to what the real problems are. And then we can start building. And you'll find what's very unique about like the stuff we do. A lot of times it goes to health, right? Or family and relationships, but it all starts kind of with money and getting organized. That's just the way it is. It's always been that way in my business. But that initial important piece is being able to bring that in. So what are some of the tools that you have? You say, well, I don't have a list. Like everybody has a list. You have friends, you have family, you have people you work with. Those are people that you can listen to, but you've got to get better at listening to what is going on in the world today. Also, you can do a better job of segmenting your social. Whether it's Twitter or Thread, the new Thread that's Meta's got out there. You can block out the noise and follow the right people instead of just getting all that algorithmic, noise in. And look for clues in your marketplace and follow people that are kind of similar and look at what other people are doing. But once you have that, then basically what you want to do is you want to be soft and carry a big stick. And what I mean by that, you'll see some emails come out from me when I'm selling stuff, but I typically don't send a lot of emails. Why is that? Because I want to make sure that when I send something, people read it. And I want to send something of value once in a while. So one of the things I like to do is send something of value or put something of value on social. Now, another driver for me over the year has been YouTube. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've been very lax with YouTube. I've not done YouTube at the level that I want to, and that's part of one of the things that I'm doing is I'm working on my writing, is to get my YouTube back up and rolling again at a higher level, doing things that I want to do. But it's challenging because when I listen to what people want on YouTube, they want Remarkable 2 information. That's an e-ink device. They want Onyx information. And I just don't want to do all that content. So I have to do enough of that and some of the other stuff, right? Because the algorithm is pushing that other stuff. So sometimes it takes you into directions you don't want to go, but you can kind of manipulate it to where you want to go, as long as you don't burn out. And that's part of the problem with some of the social stuff, specifically YouTube. YouTube's one of those things where you will burn out. It's extremely challenging, and it gets you in this place where it just teases you, and it's like, oh, I could build this into business, and it's just a challenging thing. Like, it's one of those things that you got to focus on the task. You know how I talk about with Morning Coach and with when we talk about getting things done, our program, focus on the task at hand, check the box, right? So if you're doing your 100-day challenge, you're checking the things you did this week. It's the same thing with the daily task or the weekly task. Like, YouTube's one of those things, like 3 or 4 videos a week. You just have to check the boxes. You can't focus on the numbers. You can't look at the metrics. You just got to check the boxes. And you just got to keep getting better at it. And you just got to keep doing it. It's one of those things that it's going to go up and down. It's just a really weird thing. And that's why you focus on the task instead of the result. Okay? And so if you listen to everything that we're bringing together, everything that we're talking about, everything that we're working on, it's about getting ourselves in a place where we're listening. And again, this is a challenge because, especially as professional experts, most of the people that are here, right, that are listening to Morning Coach, like you have had years of experience. So you're bringing this experience to the table and you're like, why doesn't the market just buy this? Or why don't people just listen to me at my job? Or why don't people just listen to me at work or at home or wherever? I've got all this knowledge. I've got all this experience. Well, the world has shifted. It's not about that knowledge and experience. It used to be, but it's not anymore. Now what's it about? Now it's about what can you do for me? And how do you know what you can do for somebody? You have to listen, okay? And that's when you can focus on people. And that's what social is all about, is listening. And you got to be on your game to do that. I get off my game once in a while, and I know that. And I'm really working hard to stay on my game, which includes having a very good morning routine and a very good evening routine. So I don't fall off. I need my breaks, but I don't want to fall off my game. And this year has been a lot of rough patches. And part of that is because I remodeled the retreat center here, got in a good place, but I've fallen off a little bit too. Got a little lazy in some areas, and that's okay. We're going to talk about some mistakes made along the way on Thursday. So make sure you listen because that's going to be a good one. But the idea is impact. Communication goes hand to hand with impact. And that's what we're all looking to do. Like, whether it's make more money, get an escalated raise at our job, go out there and be a better parent. It's all about impact, right? So communication and impact go hand to hand. And what we got to do is do a better job of listening. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. We're going to talk about AI on Wednesday. But the first thing I want you to do is try to figure out how can you listen better to your list. Again, socially, that's on your list. If you're an actually professional expert, how can you listen better so you can figure out what people are doing? And just an example for me, coming to a meeting, taking notes, okay, that's where I'm listening, and not thinking about me, thinking about what people need, and then being that problem solver, and then looking at the 100-day challenge and going, okay, what do people need? That's really what I'm focused on, because then I can create better content for you, and it's a win-win for everybody. But we've all got to work on becoming a better listener, because that's going to help you understand what you need to offer and what you need to put out more of, and you'll see it, and it'll take off a little bit. And when you see that, look for those clues, and that's what you want to start spending more time with, okay? Any questions, jump up in the daily CoachCast area about the circle, because this is deep stuff, and we can talk about it and love to bring you more information on this. Just if you need specifics, let's continue down this path on the list relationship. And our next professional expert meeting, make sure you come and we'll talk about that. I know the last one we made it about 100-day challenge. We're going to throw some extra ones up there and we'll talk more about these ideas. I know we're going to talk a little bit about beliefs and structuring in that, but we're also going to talk about some of these ideas. So let's keep rolling. Become a better listener. I love you. Go do it to it. And I'll be back tomorrow right here on morningcoach.com.